such a great turnout, and thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoy the performances, and would like to thank you.
Since Council launched National Reconciliation Week in 1996, it has emerged as an important week on the national calendar. It has been characterised by special media articles and programs, local activities, book and report launches, exhibitions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures, sporting events, picnics, barbecues and much more. The week has also lifted the profile of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags, which increasingly have been flown above civic buildings, schools and other community and institutional centres during this time. National Reconciliation Week has carried a different theme each year since its inception. This year's theme is rights, respect and reconciliation. The National Sorry Day on 26th of May 1998 marked the first anniversary of the tabling in Parliament of the Bringing Them Home report. It was a unique national event that contributed much to the momentum of the people's movement for reconciliation. Subsequently, the National Sorry Day Committee proposed that the date henceforth should be marked in a different way, using the idea of a journey of healing as an appropriate mechanism for moving forward from Sorry Day. The Council has supported the new concept, noting that the themes implied by its title were broadly consistent with the goals that reconciliation process itself.
And now I'd like to welcome for the elders, welcome Auntie Agnes Roberts.
I want to say good morning to you all this morning, and my name is Agnes Roberts and I'm one of the Bundjalung elders of this country. We are gathered here today to open the 2004 Sorry Day event. I hope that you enjoy the show that is being presented to you today. And I want to thank you very much for I've been out of bed this morning, you know, it's getting cold now, but thank you very much. And I want all your children, as we say in the Bundjalung way, you've got to be neat and not be quiet. So I want to thank you all this morning for coming. Thank you.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm Craig Morgan.
And I'm just thinking.
And now could we get Paul Kelly up, please?
Good morning, everybody.
G'day.
How are you? Good. I want to thank Angus for a welcome and for the organisers for asking me to come today. I have to keep driving north, so I won't be able to stay for the whole event. But I would like to sing a song. When I went to school, we never learned much about Aboriginal history, but as I grew up and travelled around, I found out there are lots and lots of great stories out there. And can you turn it down a bit, please, Marco? Many years later, I ended up writing a song with Aboriginal songwriter Kev Carmody, and we based this song on events that happened in Northern Australia starting in 1968 when a group of Aboriginal stockmen and their families, the Gurindji people, walked off a cattle station, a place called Wage Hill, and this station was owned by Lord Vesey, a British lord. They walked off and asked for their ancestral land back. It took them 8 years being on strike. Eventually they did get their lands returned to them on the government at the time, led by Gough Whitlam, and in a ceremony symbolising the handing back of the lands, he poured earth into the hands of the main spokesperson for the Gurindji. His name was Vincent Linyari. He's no longer with us. And the song's called From Little Things, Big Things Grow. Gather round story, an 8-year-long story of power and pride. The British Lord Vesty, Vixen Lingaro, opposite men on opposite sides. Vesty was fat, with money and muscle. Beef was his business, blood was his goal. Vincent was lean, spoke very little. He had no bank balance, hard dirt was his floor. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. You were working for nothing but rations. Well, once they had gathered the wealth of the land, daily the pressure got tighter and tighter. The Ringy decided they must make a stand. They picked up their swags and started off working at Waddy Creek. They sat themselves down. Now it don't sound like much, but it sure got tongues talking back at the homestead and then in the town. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. Now Vesty man said, I'll double your wages, 7 quid a week, you'll have in your hand. Vincent said, we're not talking about wages, we're staying right here till we get our land. The Vesty man roared, the Vesty man thundered, you don't stand a chance of a cinder and snow. Well, Vince said if we fall, others are rising. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. The Vincent Lingaro, he bought an airplane and landed in Sydney, great big city of lights. Daily he went round softly speaking the story to all kinds of men from all walks of life. Now Vincent sat down with big politicians. This affair, they told him, it's a matter of state. Let us sort it out, while your people must be hungry. Vincent said, no thanks, we don't have to wait. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. And Vincent Lingaro returned in an airplane back to his country once more to sit down. And he told his people, let the stars keep on turning. We got friends in the south, in the cities and towns. 8 years went by, 8 long years of waiting, till one day a tall stranger appeared in the land. And he came with lawyers, and he came with great ceremony, and through Vincent's fingers he poured a handful of sand. From little things, big things grow. 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 That was the story of Vincent Lingaro, but this is a story or something much more. How power and privilege cannot move a people who know where they stand and stand in the law. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow.
About that, people? Did that send a message or not? Yeah. What a way to kick off Solidarity and Reconciliation Week. I've come over here because the young people asked me to. But I'd like to thank Paul for his time and effort to be with us today. And as you notice, Paul's packing up now. He's got a pretty tight schedule. He has to get back to his band to get ready for the nice performance. But once again, I'd like to thank Paul for being here and to let him know that that special song that he sung has taken that message right across the world, and people will talk about that song for years to come. So thank Paul.
Okay, up next we have Mirakai singing a song.
Her song is going to reflect the theme for this year's National Reconciliation Week, which is Rights, Respect and Reconciliation.
Yes, I'm Mirakai, and I'm going to sing a song that I wrote especially for today. It's called Respect, Reconciliation and Right. And we as Indigenous people, our appearance may have changed, but our identity and our culture still runs strong in our veins. And I, as a singer-songwriter, express that identity and culture through my music. I'd like to introduce you to Terry on piano, Terry Lawrence. My daughter Ruby Matthews. My other daughter Natasha Matthews, or Tashi, and Terry's daughter Sarah. Thanks, I'll put it now. Three important things that we realize.
thank you so much for inviting me along today. It's such a pleasure to be here and speaking today and listening to all the other fabulous music that's been presented. It's been a delight. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Marcel Townsend Cross, and I'm really privileged to have been invited to come and speak with you today. I'd like to share with you some of my experiences in life, particularly in regard to the concept of respect. So I'd like to concentrate on the idea of respect today. But by way of introduction, I'm a Bundjalung woman from the mid-coast of New South Wales near the Manning River. A Widjabal woman from the Kurura River just a bit further south. And I'm an Irish woman. I pay my respects to my spirit ancestors from all of these places. And I pay my respects to the spirit ancestors of Bundjalung Country, where I'm now privileged to reside with my family. So I'm an Indigenous Australian woman who was, like many other Indigenous Australians, raised by non-Indigenous Australians. I had a very happy childhood. I loved my mum, dad and big brothers, and they loved me. I used to delight in the stories about how my family adopted me when I was one, and my dad used to tell me how he went to the shop and bought me for 20 cents. I grew up during the 1960s and 70s, a time in Australia when it wasn't exactly fashionable to be an Indigenous Australian. Being fair-skinned or fair enough enabled my parents to raise me as a non-Indigenous person. And this was justified by the time's societal belief that all Aboriginal people required protection. Protection from their cultures and their heritages, protection from their communities, and more importantly, protection from the racist society in which we lived. I remember as a child growing up hearing a lot about this concept of respect. I heard this always from adults, and always about how children should respect your parents, respect your teachers, respect the mean old lady at the shop, respect the people with lots of money, respect adults. No one really defined for me in words or actions what respect really meant. My childhood interpretation of the concept of respect was to do or say anything an adult tells you to. I heard catchphrases like children should be seen and not heard, and when I grew a little older, I related very, very personally to Cat Stevens' lyrics. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. So, what is respect? How does it feel to be respected? How does it feel to respect somebody else? And what does it mean? Over the past 15 years, through listening and learning to elders and other Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians, I have learned the strength and the power of the essence of Indigenous philosophies, worldviews and ways of knowing. These concepts include the values of care, share and respect, of relationships and balance. I've learned that storytelling is part of Indigenous Australia's university of life, and that by listening to other people's stories, I can learn so much about myself. Through these experiences, I believe that I have seen true respect in action. I believe that I have experienced truly respectful feelings toward others in my family, my community. So to be able to communicate that for today, I've put together a series of statements that relate my understanding of the concept of respect. Respect is from the Latin word respicio or respectum, and it means to look back, to reflect. From the Macquarie Dictionary, respect is to honour, to revere, to esteem, to cherish, to hold in awe, to refrain from interfering with, to relate to. Respect is much more than politeness or the practicing of good manners. Respect is something that cannot truly happen between strangers. Respect is something that cannot be demanded or forced. Respect is something that must be earned. Respect is a two-way street. Respect is to know and understand someone. Respect is a deep relationship developed through understanding and admiration. Respect is being aware that those whom you respect are not perfect and may need our help sometimes. Respect is being listened to, being understood, being supported and cared for. Respect is learned through experience by being shown respect. For Indigenous Australians to experience real respect in Australia, there is a critical need for a greater understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, their cultures, their viewpoints, their literatures and their politics. The theft of Indigenous territory and subsequent government policies aimed at destroying Indigenous cultures have left Australia with a legacy that is now only becoming more obvious to the broader Australian society. The violent, cultural and political resistance to invasion and British law is well recorded in Indigenous stories right across Australia. And most Indigenous people know of this resistance, though by comparison, other Australians may know very little about this history of resistance. Finally, I'd like to finish with the words of an elder from the Yarralin community in South Australia. His name is Uncle Joseph Campbell. He says this: "There are four faces to fulfilling human potential. These are: 1. Acknowledge all signs, because this is the way the earth speaks. 2. Embrace change as having a meaning just for you, because this is the way life speaks. 3. Listen mindfully to the inner voice, because this is the way that wisdom speaks. And 4, follow your bliss." Thank you.
Because I believe that respect is born from knowing and acknowledging that you're beautiful and just as beautiful as everyone around you, like the person next to you. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We've got some Lismore High kids, they did some paintings and that, and they're going to come up and show them to you.
And now we have Ruby's entry. She's singing, so give her a round of applause.
To get along and work together to make the world a better place for everyone. We should take a look around us and understand that we share this world. Each individual should play their part and try their best to cooperate and live in harmony with their fellow being. And that's what today is all about. Respect, rights and reconciliation. I hope you enjoy the song.
Stuck with me for a while. But what's happening, because the other two people have left, those two young people are part of a group that's making a special trip to Sweden later this year. And today we're doing a presentation of the dance. So that group has actually gone up back to get ready for the dance session. So that's why we'll be sitting for a few minutes. Just on that, you might have noticed as you walk into the door that we're asking for a gold coin donation towards this trip. It's going to take us something like $20,000 to make it all happen. We're busy raising money. There's a couple of events that I want to mention. There's a big garage sale taking place on the ground of Community Connections, which is a youth organisation at the bottom end of King Street, down towards Bayline. And that's been organised for the 19th of July. We've also approached the council to see if we can have a street festival between Carrington Street and Melbourne Street. And once again, we'll be presenting exactly what we've been doing in Sweden. Because these young people going over to Sweden to take part in a world culture and music festival. So it's all the stuff that they see every year today, we'll have to present it to the world over there in Sweden later this year.
I'm from the Widjabal tribe in Lismore here. And I just tried some of these fellows there that's on the welcome dance for this area, which I've been taking over with them over across the country, across the world. And this one here is a welcome song, welcome dance, and this dance represents our welcoming people into our country. So this is a welcome dance. The next performances that we're doing will be the Kingdom Hunter.
And of course, we couldn't leave a couple of the community, young people, the youth out as well. So we've got two representatives of the community. So I'd like to welcome those two community members, youth community members, to come out. Yes, like I said, in a matter of 6 weeks, these young people are not really well. And I think by the time we're ready to go in August, you'll be able to know a lot more about it. So thank you once again.
In time, for over 40,000 years, could not just disappear as if it had never existed. Instead, it grows stronger with the passing of time and through the survival of Aboriginal people, through our music, our art, our stories and our dance. We as a people have had to be resilient and draw on a deep courage and a sense of hope in the face of great adversity. With the blanket of denial that exists over this nation when it comes to Aboriginal issues and rights, we have to be strong and determined to right the wrongs and shed light on the injustices that still affect our people today.
The word reconciliation, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a flavour of the day. It's a word. And I give this speech basically wherever I go because our forefathers and then our generations before us, we have been, as far as we can remember, trying to bridge gaps because of the atrocities and because of things that have happened in the past. We have lived this from the day we're born as Aboriginal people. And for us to come and have our gatherings, and we have a wonderful diversity of people that come and share these opinions with us, and we share our cultures, we share our song, we share our dancing. And I don't just say that between Aboriginal people and white people of Australia. I say this from every aspect of our community. I speak on this mainly because even within the non-Aboriginal community, there are different groups of people. People won't talk to this one, the other one won't talk to the other one. And so we have to make reconciliation work there within your community. It's not just from the Aboriginal and the non-Aboriginal. It's right throughout. There is a little disease, I guess you could call it, of prejudice. And it's just not with Aboriginal, with black and white people. It runs right through. And so we're here today to celebrate. And that's what I want to bring through here, is that we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate reconciliation. We're here to celebrate the bridging of the gap. As I've been saying for more than 20 years, you must bridge the gap. Be available, make yourself available to bridge gaps. Auntie Judy, you there? Yeah, Auntie Judy? Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. It's an honour to come over and to be a part of this. And I'm coming on Sunday again, which I'd love to catch up to a lot of family, relatives. I have a lot of relatives over this way, but just don't get to see a lot of people. And coming from Kyogle. More than 20 years ago, my mum came home one day and she said, I've just met a lovely lady. Judith Light's her name. And today we're working together. My sister and my brothers, we're working with Auntie Jude today. But I want to say thank you very much for having me come along, and wish you well for this week, and let this week, not just this week, but the rest of the year and the year after that, let it all make a difference, that what we're doing will stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patsy. Our next item is a vocal performance by my beautiful daughter Gemma, may Matthews. At the end of last year, Gemma won a scholarship from the Department of Aboriginal Affairs for excellence in performing arts. And in a few moments you'll find out why.
I'd just like to say that I'm singing Angel by Amanda Prayers, and hopefully you'll like it. And I'm singing by myself, so yeah. I'll start now. It's been months since you went away. Nothing word, nothing to say. When I was the one who gave you my heart and soul, it wasn't good enough for you, no. So I asked God send me an angel from the heavens above. Send me an angel to heal my broken heart from being in love. 'Cause all I do is hide. God send me an angel with a tear from in my eyes. Now I know I might sound crazy, but after all that I still loved you. You won't come back in my life, but now there's something that I have to do. I have to do the one that I want so true, but they can't have my name no more. My heart can't take no more lies, and my eyes are all like glass. So God send me an angel from the heavens of hell. Send me an angel to heal my broken heart from being in love. 'Cause all I do is cry. Send me an angel to wipe the tears from my eyes. Now I'm having mama love, 'cause all I do is cry. God send me an angel to wipe the tears from my eyes. God send me an angel from the heavens above. God send me an angel to wipe the tears from my eyes. God send me an angel.
Okay, I'm going to hand out some certificates now for all the kids who work so hard to do the artwork and the songs for the presentations today. We have a banner that was painted by the Lismore High School students, and this was a banner and some posters that were done. Can someone hold it up? So the two small artworks that were put into the program as well are from Lailani McGurgan from Lismore High School, who just sang that beautiful song for us, and the other certificates, that's the banner there. A lot of hard work went into that by the looks of it. So on behalf of the Lismore People for Reconciliation, I'd like to thank you, the audience tonight, for coming along and sharing this time with us. And I just hope you enjoyed the items. And yeah, like Patsy said, it's all about bridging the gap, and that's what these programs helps to do. Is bridge the two cultures. And I'd like to thank all our performers and presenters. The kids were so brave, and thank you to Michael Turner for doing the sound, working really hard kind of for the last 2 days. Yeah, well, it has been really, hasn't it, last night, today, doing an excellent job for that. And to the video projectionist, Carl, and everybody that was involved in making today and tonight a really wonderful experience for everyone. And also, I'd like to, on behalf of the Reconciliation Committee, I'd like to invite everyone to a family barbecue and yarn up day on Sunday at the Conservatorium of Music. And it's a day to discuss in an informal kind of a way, you know, and respect and reconciliation and rights. So thank you all very much for coming, and au revoir.